During the 1950s, society put much pressure on families to conform to the so-called American dream. Part of this was the idea that a woman's place was at home, being the perfect housewife. TV sitcoms, such as Ozzie and Harriet, portrayed the mother to be perfectly happy in her role in the household, and this portrayal led women to believe if they were not happy, there was something wrong with them. In Betty Friedan's book, The Feminine Mystique, Friedan did a survey of housewives and found that many of them were unhappy with the life they were living and felt as though they had no personal identity. This study and subsequent acknowledgement of something that many women had felt unable to discuss before led to the beginning of the new women's rights movement. This movement was further spurred by the civil rights movement and the successes of African Americans. The idea was that if one of the most discriminated against minorities in society could achieve rights, so could women. And even inside the civil rights movement, women were discriminated against, given the lower jobs and easier tasks, not allowed to help in planning and leadership roles. The feeling of worthlessness many women felt as a result of this and other things was a major driving force in the women's movement. In 1996, 26 women along with Betty Friedan created the National Organization for Women, also known as NOW. NOW tried to help women gain more freedom for themselves and allow them to gain jobs and an education. Their work pushed the Equal Employment Opportunities Commission to declare sex-segregated jobs illegal, forcing them to hire women for traditionally male-held jobs. Aside from NOW, many other people and organizations contributed to the movement as well. In New York City, women threw away bras and wigs, as well as crowning a sheep Miss America, to protest the objectification of women. Gloria Steinem founded the magazine Miss, which later became a strong voice in the movement as traditional periodicals refused to publish women's liberation stories. One of the major issues with gaining support for the women's movement was the fact that a lot of the groups and people in the movement supported abortion, a very controversial topic, and one that eventually led to not enough states ratifying the Equal Rights Amendment, a bill that would guarantee men and women equal rights under the law. One such person that was strongly against the movement was Phyllis Schlafly. She believed that the women's movement would lead to a breakdown in traditional values. She stated that women were oppressed only in their own distorted minds, and that women were seeking a constitutional cure for their personal problems. However, even with the opposition, the Supreme Court case, Roe v. Wade, the court ruled that women do have the right to an abortion in the first 3 months of their pregnancy. Along with this case, the court made many other rulings that helped women. Title IX made it illegal to discriminate against women in sports, and the Higher Education Act banned gender discrimination in education and financial aid opportunities. Continuing into the present day, women are still trying to gain rights for themselves. Today, these women call themselves feminists and are just as discriminated against now as before. Their goals today are very different, and yet still the same. Focus less on getting freedom, but more towards demanding respect. One major issue today is male entitlement, or the idea that a man has the right to a woman's body. One male senator even stated that if a woman had the right to abortion, a man should have the right to use his superior strength to force himself upon a woman. But this philosophy has many issues, along with the fact that it is completely false. A man has no right to a woman's body, ever. The consequences in this type of thinking were showcased recently at UC Santa Barbara, when a man shot 6 people on account of his being mad that women had rejected his advances. Another problem is the rape cultures of society today. Rape, or when one person forces himself upon another, is a crime. It is illegal according to the law. But when 2 teenage boys drug and rape a girl while videotaping it, the news studios don't focus on the girl, and if she is okay, but the ruined football careers of the 2 boys. This girl is not alone. Oftentimes, the victim is not only ignored, but blamed for what happened to them. Were her shorts too short, her shirt cut too deep, or was her nightgown too revealing? These questions asked a lot, and many times the victim is shamed for something that was out of her control. It was not her fault. Over the years, the women's movement gained many more freedoms and opportunities for females all over the country, and feminism today continues on that path. Hopefully, one day women will be allowed all things denied to them because of their sex. Hopefully, one day women will be thought of as equal. Hopefully, one day women will have the same respect given to them as men.